Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to another Sunday of the Petty Crew radio show. Thank everybody for tuning in. We have a great show lined up for you guys. We have a great guest who's going to be joining us today. I am your boy, Boss Hogg, host of the Petty Crew radio show. And as usual, I have my partner in crime, Diamond, all the way in San Antonio, Texas. What's up, Diamond? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I'm awesome.
Okay. Let everybody know who you are. Give everybody everything.
Oh, you want everything now? Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm Diamond. I'm Diamond, and I'm in San Antonio, Texas. I am an educator by trade in the daytime. I also have a side business, YOLO Expressions. I customize T-shirts, cups, buttons, keychains, port signs, you name it, I pretty much make it. And you can find me on Facebook or Instagram, YOLO Expressions, or you can also find me as Yolanda Diamond Jones. And I'm
Already.
here ready for today's show.
Okay. Also, again, with us, man, I have a special guest, Arthur Stacy Breckenridge. It's good to have you hanging out with the Petty Crew. How you doing, Stacy?
I'm doing great.
Okay. You're looking beautiful. The makeup is rocking. Uh, we're gonna have a good time today. Again, speaking with you as well as everything that we're gonna be having in store today. And so let me go on and give you guys the rundown of what we're gonna be talking about. If you have been under a rock this past week, I believe Wednesday, Whoopi Goldberg surprised everybody by going on national TV with a Prince Hall cardigan sweater. If you do not know about Prince Hall, that is the oldest black fraternity for men of color in the world. And with her wearing this sweater, she brought all the Masons out. And so we're going to jump into that. Because, of course, if you didn't know, your boy Boss Hogg is also a Prince Hall Mason as well. And I got something to say about that. Also, we're going to be speaking on Mayweather. It's not too often that Mayweather speak on issues of racism, and in this case, Mayweather made some statements regarding how he feel like he's viewed differently than I wouldn't say his counterpart, but how he's viewed differently than Conor McGregor. If you don't know who Conor McGregor is, he is a MMA fighter. Um, and he feels as if he's being treated differently because he does a lot of smack talking and how he sees Conor McGregor being praised for the same type of smack talking. Then we're going to jump into the situation that also unfolded just this week. I want to say either Thursday or Friday, where we have T.I. and Tidy in the middle of accusations of assault. T.I. has been accused of pulling a gun out on a young lady. He's also been accused of sexually assaulting several women. Now, I don't really follow them like that. However, since I do get a ton of stories and media on my timeline, I was like, wow, because I have gave my thoughts regarding this couple um, before. And so we're going to talk about that. So listen, I don't want to hold you guys too long. I know it's a beautiful Sunday here in Dallas, Texas, wherever you are located. Hopefully it's the same where you are. So let's go on and jump right into it. Before we do that, though, I got to talk about something, guys. If you are following me on social media, something happened to me about 3 days ago. 3 days ago, I was suspended by Facebook. And so if you haven't seen me post in 3 days, and I know somebody who's probably following me and watching the show, like probably like, Jesus, thank you. But you hadn't seen me on social media for 3 days. I just got out of Facebook jail literally at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, literally right before I got ready to do this show. Facebook is kind of clamping down on, I guess, phrases, certain words. Diamond sitting up here sending me messages like, what in the hell did you say to get in trouble on Facebook? Who you cuss out? And I'm like, I haven't cussed nobody out. That's the crazy thing. I've been on Facebook for 11 years.
Wow.
And I've said all types of shit on Facebook. Literally. I've probably said it. I've said it all. However, I noticed over the past year, starting last year, they are becoming a little bit more, I don't want to say strict because I guess they're watching certain phrases or their algorithm rhythm is catching certain phrases or whatever, certain words. In this case, all I said was, and it was actually in response to a post that I had made, I was saying something to the extent I use women. And something like most women in hypocrisy, whatever it was, immediately I got a message probably about 5 minutes later from Facebook saying, that comment goes against community standards. And it kind of confused me because I'm like, now I can watch videos of bras half-ass naked. I can watch videos where the word niggas being used, fuck, bitch, and yet and still my status or my comment somehow caused Facebook. So in any case, I was literally suspended for 3 days from commenting, liking. They've actually shut down my business account with them, which I'm really pissed off about because, Facebook is where a majority of my followers are. I'm on social media everywhere. However, the bulk of my people tune in are on Facebook. So I'm highly pissed off about that, but whatever. So let's jump into Whoopi. Again, Whoopi wore a sweater of a fraternity that I'm a member of. It was a black and gold sweater, and it had a square and compass on the side of your heart. It said Prince Hall at the top. If you guys are looking, because I knew I was going to talk about this today, I'm wearing my Prince Hall hoodie, specially made by Patterson Clothing Company with Mason on the side because I can wear it to talk about this situation. The whole Masonic world, Prince Hall is like literally going crazy. My grandmaster here in Texas was like, hey, grandmasters are calling me because everybody want to know what possessed Whoopi Goldberg, as intelligent as she is, to have a Boosie moment. And what do I mean by Boosie moment? Boosie, if you guys remember, sometime last year, he showed up at a basketball game wearing a Kappa Alpha Psi sweater. He wore it. And everybody again was like, why would he do this if as big as he is no different than Whoopi Goldberg? And so here's where I got it wrong. Initially, I said, you know what? This was a woman who was intelligent enough. She should have known better to wear this sweater. Again, everybody's in a frenzy. I go to Twitter because before I jumped on Facebook, I've always been on Twitter. I think, matter of fact, 12 years. Go on Twitter, I immediately send her a message on Twitter. Then I run across a gentleman who basically says, and he's tweeting Whoopi Goldberg in The View, and he says something to the extent, because I don't have it pulled up, it was stupid anyway. Basically what he was saying was Whoopi Goldberg is wearing this sweater because she got approval from a lodge, and it's because her brother, who was a Prince Hall Mason, died. He was honoring her. And as a Prince Hall Mason, no, he didn't even say Mason. He said as a Prince Hall member, I don't have a problem with it. So guess what Boss Hogg do? I tweet his ass. First of all, who are you? Secondly, you don't have a right to speak on behalf of whatever jurisdiction.
For everybody.
You are in, correct. You don't have that right. At the same time, again, everybody's up in frenzy. You got the bros who are like, damn. And I want to get something straight. Every time this shit happens, man, I always see this. If we have to be mad at something, I don't care what fraternity it is, Prince Hall, Greek, fraternity, sorority, there's a misunderstanding, and Diamond can chime in on this. When I seen it, I was not upset. Hey, brother Jarek, I see you. I was not upset as a Prince Hall Mason. If anything, I was surprised. I was shocked because I'm sitting up here like, what would possess her to do it? We just want to know the logic behind this intelligent black woman putting on a male sweater. So again, after all the frenzy, she then turns around, and the next day she goes on The View, and her apology is very simple. Hey, I seen this sweater on the internet. I liked it. I bought it. I figured I would wear it. I apologize. I won't do it again. Now, I said her apology in reverse because she apologized first and then gave the explanation. But again, that's literally what she says. Then I thought about it. I have a couple of days. I'm on Facebook jail. I'm locked down. I can think now because I can't post shit. I can't post nothing. So then it hit me. Whoopi Goldberg did not have a Boosie moment. What she did was way worse. And here's why. Lil Boosie, even in his misguided mindset, it came from a place, and y'all follow me if you're part of any Greek organization, fraternity. It came from a place where he didn't think he was hurting anybody. Again, he doesn't know the rules the same way Whoopi didn't know kind of how it worked. You just don't do it regardless of what you think. Boosie said, well, because y'all play my music all the time, the Kappas, y'all do it. It's like, well, I just thought it was cool for me. He was just thinking, well, I can represent for you guys, not realizing it's still inappropriate since you're not a part of that Greek organization to put it on. He was upset. He came out with a video, y'all show me how to shimmy then if I can't, if I can't wear your letters. Matter of fact, if I can't wear y'all letters, y'all stop playing my music and stop dancing to my music. I understood it. As misguided as his thought process was, he had a thought process in doing why he did it. And so now I had to backtrack, and I'm going to turn it over to Diamond, and I want to hear your thoughts. And I had to say, after listening to Whoopi Goldberg's explanation of why she did it, I said, well, damn, at least Boosie had an intelligent thought behind why he did it. Listen, if you're looking for anything Prince Hall, anything Masonic, you got to Google that shit. I'm telling you, as a brother, before I ever when I was looking for an organization to join outside of my church, I didn't know nothing about Prince Hall Masonry. Absolutely nothing. Matter of fact, my first petition when I looked into Masonry actually came from our white counterparts, DeSoto, Texas. But I knew I didn't want to join them, understanding the racism behind Masonry. So I had to find out about Prince Hall Masonry. And so when I think about it and think about her apology, I'm saying to myself, you didn't just find that sweater accidentally. Not only that, with all your intelligence, you had to at least Google who the hell Prince Hall was. You know what I'm saying? You had to. And then to wear it, I think she knew it was going to create a backlash. And of course, she's Whoopi Goldberg. She can handle that. Diamond, when you saw it, what did you think? Talk to me.
When I saw her again, I was more shocked than anything. I was more wondering why. And of course, me being a member of the Masonic world, I'm a Eastern Star, as well as a lot of the other houses, and also being a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. My emotions were totally all over the place because we often have conversations about people who actually put on our stuff and act like they're a member of us, that we're out like, okay, well, when were you initiated? Where did this happen at? And then they get on the offensive side because we're like, hey, you have to follow certain guidelines and certain steps in order to wear this. So my initial was like, okay, why does she have that on? Because again, as a female counterpart to a Mason, I'm like, that's something I wouldn't even do. Like, I wouldn't even put on my husband's, my brother's, or any of those people's attire that has that emblem on it because I know what it means. But if I was in a situation where I had to, I also know what to say and what to do for me having it, which means I was in a do or die situation, which is a whole nother story. But with it, I was just like, what? And then I saw the story that you with the guy that made that tweet about, and to me, that was still not justification. That actually made it worse. Because now I'm thinking, what lodge would give her that? First of all, they don't have the right to give her permission to wear it. And then I'm like, what lodge in their right mind would give her such an item? So
Right.
I was like, what in the world? And yes, I saw that. I'm reading what Ronald Jarek said. I saw people saying you should be honored that she wore it for the publicity. And what they don't understand is we don't need publicity because we are who we are, and we've been around for not just one century. We've been around for several centuries and decades. We have a history of who we are. We know where we're going, and nor do we need to be in the forefront because that's not even why we were founded. So I was just oblivious and I just couldn't understand why. And like you say, even when she came back with her apology, the simple thought of, oh, I saw it and I liked it, somewhere in there for you to find it. One, like you said, you did a Google search, or with technology, you mentioned it and it brought it up because we all know now when you're sitting around having a conversation with a friend and you say Masonic stuff or whatever, you'll get those subliminal messages on your Facebook line or social media where that will now be
Mm-hmm.
a part of your advertisement. So even for that to happen, it was something that you sought out. You didn't just come up with, oh, I'm scrolling trying to find something to wear, and this sweater just pops up, and oh, this is cute. I'm gonna get it. And then at one point, you've seen that emblem. I'm sorry, there is no way in your history somewhere, even if you don't know everything about it, you've seen it enough to know that it means something and that it belongs to some organization. So I just can't really go with that. Like you say, I wasn't really upset. I was more like, why? Why are you doing it? Because the first thing I think when I see people doing it is that you're perpetrating to be something you're not. To me, there is never, oh, this is such and such, oh, somebody gave me that. There are certain things we just know in our community that you're not supposed to wear because it belongs to this organization. So I just feel like you were perpetrating and you were totally out the way perpetrating. Not only did you have on another fraternity's organization stuff, but women aren't even allowed in that organization that you're perpetrating. So, it kind of just made me, of course, following, watching. I saw everyone in an uproar. My Masonic brothers. I saw the message from my grandmaster as well. And I got to give my grandmaster kudos and shout outs because when I say he had swag and he was suave with his comments and his intentions of even, talking to the brothers and talking to the sisters and like, hey, realize she had to get this from somewhere. So the powers that be are handling this Y'all kind of settle down. Y'all kind of, calm down. So I do have to give him props on the way he took care of the situation and the way he handled it. But at the end of the day, I just believe somewhere in her mind, she knew what she was doing. Whatever reason or intentions were behind it, of course, we'll never know the full story. But I just don't love Whoopi, but I just don't believe it just popped up and you just said, oh, that's cute, and I'm gonna order it like you say without searching for it. I mean, before
Right.
I became in these organizations, I had to search. This stuff didn't just pop in my timeline. Now I see it all the time, but that's because I'm a member of it and my history shows that I look for this stuff. So of course, new stuff will pop up. But before, none of this stuff just popped up and I just found all these wonderful sweaters and jewelry and accessories.
Well, again, like I said, it was more of why. Um, there was a missed opportunity uh, in it as well. I think when people see Whoopi Goldberg, they see a woman again in contrast in Boosie. We see her as an intelligent as she is on The View with her going back and forth. And so again, it's like she missed an opportunity to teach. And what do I mean by teaching? You didn't just wear any square and compass sweater. And with Black History coming up, matter of fact, tomorrow, for you guys that don't know, Black History Month is the whole month of February. An opportunity to say, hey, after waiting the whole day to say, listen, even if you said it was on accident, I did my research because you're lying one way or the other. You're lying already. You're lying. Hey, I did my research and I found out about this man, Prince Hall, and he was such and such, such and such. They are the oldest and first Black fraternity of men of color. Woo, woo, woo. Whatever it was, an opportunity was missed. And again, as one of our commenters in the comments said, Jarak says, can you believe that there were people who actually said that we should be thankful for free publicity? With that being said, let me go and address this. If you a brother, I'm going to tell you off the rip, you need to get back into reading something. Get outside that black book and read Masonry. Because if you know anything about Masonry, and if you read enough lectures, you know that Masonry has never been boastful. Masonry could care less about the publicity at all. That's first and foremost. If you are friends on social media with any brother or sister in the Masonic organization and they are sharing pictures, for me, I'm going to speak for me, the reason why I share pictures because I kept hearing all the time, what do you guys do? We never see y'all anywhere because that's how Masonry is different from other organizations. It doesn't work to be seen. It was always meant to be behind closed doors. It was never meant to be boastful. It was never meant to get credit in whatever we do. That's just not what it was really about. And so, again, a misguided logic to think, well, you gave us free publicity. No, what it really did was it brought a spotlight on Prince Hall. Because the people who are watching now are saying, because everybody has seen the square and compass, like Diamond said. Listen, I didn't have to know nothing about masonry to say that everybody, if you've been anywhere, you've seen somebody in a car on a t-shirt, a cup. It doesn't matter. You recognize that square and compass. You do. If you don't know nothing else, you recognize it. Now, I'm going to say this. Whoopi is not the only one who has caused an uproar when it comes to the wearing of people's insignia, whatever the case may be. Boosie was not the only one. If you guys go back a little bit further than Boosie, If you guys remember, her name is, she's an R&B singer, soulful R&B singer. Her name is um, Layla Hathaway. I love me some Layla Hathaway. She made the mistake a couple of years ago. I want to say maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. She put on her dad, the late great singer Donny Hathaway. Uh, I didn't know it until I seen the hat that he was a alpha. And so she was on Instagram. She wore a hat, his hat, and again, here comes the uproar. You know, you shouldn't be wearing it. Here comes the uproar. Again, for a regular person, they just do not know any better. Jirek says that the common denominator for this whole situation is respect. Definitely agree. It boils down to respect. And guess who else has caused an uproar? Because since we're going to be talking about uproars, 11 years ago, when I was raised in November here in the great state of Dallas, Texas, under the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Texas, probably about 2 months later, I had a jacket made by a company called Stuff for Greeks. They are a company that make customized fraternity jackets, sweaters, you name it. I don't care where you at in the world. If you're part of a fraternity, they can do what their motto is. If you can think it, we can make it. Well, guess what Boss Hogg did? Now, every Mason and anybody in any part of any fraternity, they love buying shirts. They love to represent me. I had a T-shirt that says "Father of them all" with the big Mason in the square and compass with the baby Greek that represented babies. You know, the gold for the alpha, the purple. You know, all of that. They were babies, and so I wore a T-shirt and never got anything from it. Of course, you messing with the Greek brothers because for you guys that don't know, let me drop a little history. Prince Hall Masonry has been around coming up March the 6th, 246 years. That's how old Prince Hall Masonry is. Prince Hall Masonry is 246 years old. 245 right now, March the 6th hit, we will be celebrating 246 years of Prince Hall Masonry. So when I seen Stuff for Greeks, and I got my jacket, and I'm gonna show the back of it. I was just thinking, hey, you know what? I always see Ricky Smiley, all radio hosts who are part of fraternities, they are always representing their fraternities. But I never have once heard a Mason in any field, shout out to the bros of, Prince Hall Free, none of that. Never, And so I was like, because I am a history dude, I said, well, I want to take that T-shirt and turn it into a jacket. I go into their website. I see Masonic apparel, but I'm like, okay, if I get this jacket custom made, this will literally be the first jacket of its kind. Not in the front because everybody got the whole Mason. You can put whatever on the arms. I said, but the back of it will be something that no Mason has ever done. Me, I'm not thinking that I'm going to be offending Greek organizations. It was about bringing light to Prince Hall Masonry. So the back of my jacket, I'm going to let you guys see it. Because if you follow me on Facebook, you see the front of my jacket. It says, this is the lodge that I was a member of. I don't know if you can see it. But on the side, because I'm on the camera, hold on. And it's white, you got to forgive me. This is the side of it. Now here's the back. It says, Father, y'all got to forgive me. It's this green screen. Father of them all. Hold on. Let me slowly move it. It says, Father of them all, 1775. But then as I move up, you will see it says without us, there will be no you. And as it goes down, I'm not sure if you see it. Hold on, because it's the light. And anyway, it says, because I see it going in and out. At the bottom, you have the Alphas, who are the first Greek organization. Then next, you have the Kappas, who were established second. Then it has, you got to forgive me because I'm pointing at a camera. In any case, it has all the Greek organizations. If you look at it. Now, my brothers here in Texas, they done seen this shit before. They done seen it. But it has all the Greek organizations and the date in which they were established. Immediately once I shared this video, it went viral. If you go to Stuff for Greeks, you will find out that this jacket is the most liked of any fucking jacket that they've ever created. Fraternity, Greek organization, whatever. And this was 11 years ago. It got shared all across social media. I got all type of threats. You shouldn't have did that, and you're disrespecting. Now, mind you, I know what I'm doing. It ain't like it's new. You got the T-shirt that already is made. The only difference is that I put the back of the T-shirt just in a different form, you know, added some couple of statements, but it's basically the same thing. And I mean, instantly, of course, anytime you ruffle feathers of organizations, it's going to happen. But again, it was never to offend my brothers who are also a part of Greek organizations. In real life, let me tell you what happened. The whole purpose was to basically bring or highlight 1775. You never hear anybody ask about Prince Hall Masonry. This is what I'm thinking in my head. Hey, you know what? When people see the back of my jacket, they're going to ask me about 1775. If you look at it, that's what's bold. 1775 with the big old Mason with his hands crossed, you know, and at the bottom, in other words, there's a history in the back of my jacket. I had men who were like, well, you know, they're not the same. No shit. Like, but you don't know me, so you don't know I already know all of this shit. But again, we're talking social media. For the most part, in real life, like I tell people, I've yet to have a man approach me of any one of these fraternities say, you're wrong for wearing it. If anything, what I get is, can you tell me about 1775? That's what happened in real life when I wear my jacket. I wear my jacket from November, which is the month that I got raised, to like February. And then I'm going to put it back up. Then when November hit again, then I'm going to rock it again. So I understand the whole backlash behind wearing something that is going to offend. Now, me, I'm a little bit different. If you know me, you already know. I don't give a damn about your feelings. Ask why before you feel offended by something. I'm in no way making excuses for Boosie. I'm in no way making excuses for Whoopi Goldberg. Only but to say is that I've been in a position, Layla Hathaway, I've been in a position where wearing something was felt offensive. And to this day, I haven't apologized. I'm just not that nigga. I'm not going to apologize for something that was really not about Greek organizations. It was to start a conversation about Prince Hall Masonry. And that's what it's always been from the jump. Let me ask about 1775. You can't go nowhere without seeing somebody who represents their Greek organization. Rarely will you run across a Prince Hall Mason. That's a fact. I'm out here and I'm a Prince Hall Mason. Other than the Prince Hall Masons that I know, you're not running into Prince Hall Masons in the street. I'm gonna run across a bogus man or I run across a Prince Hall Mason. It is what it is. And so hopefully you guys that are watching, if you do not know, it is wrong to wear. It is inappropriate. It is not cool to wear the letters of any fraternity. I don't care if it's Masonic. I don't care if it's Greek. The best thing you can do is admire it and keep it moving. Whoopi Goldberg could have mentioned Prince Hall Masonry and would have brought light to our fraternity. Again, a moment was missed because she could have taken that time in that apology to give a brief history on Prince Hall. For you guys that don't know, and look up this brother, and I will be remiss before we move on to our next topic, not to give a little history. Prince Hall, in essence, and I want you guys to remember, we're talking about the founding of this country. July the 4th, 1776 is what was established as the 4th of July, America's independence. Prince Hall and 14 men of color became Masons before the establishment of this country. Prince Hall was a abolitionist. He was and I'm trying to just make this real small and compact. He was a minister. He was a leathersmith, but he became known for his advocacy for the rights of enslaved Africans. A lot of people believe that over 300 years ago, every African was a slave. That was just not true. Prince Hall was one of them. He saw the influence of Masonry among the white folks, and he thought that maybe because he was free that he would be able to join in their lodges, and they never accepted him. Hence, what he did was he ended up joining in a Irish infantry, I believe 441, where a lot of these militaries have Masonic lodges connected to them. And in this case, he ended up joining a military lodge. Him and again, 14 of the men of color were initiated, making them the first people of color, black men, to be initiated in Masonry in the United States. He goes on to use Masonry as a vehicle for the advancement or the freedom for people of color. He is the precursor of civil rights. He's the, you name it, it began with Prince Hall. Again, you can Google this man. You will find out about him. Here and even in Dallas, Texas, we've had apartments named after him, and people never knew who Prince Hall was. Streets, because you just didn't know. And so again, I don't want to harp on the history of this man, but that is where we get the name Prince Hall affiliated from. If you are a Prince Hall Mason, you understand why it was founded. Now, I can't say that everybody believed in it or what he was doing. However, that is why it was founded. We were created for a total different reason than regular Masonry, which sets us apart from our other brothers. It came out of not just learning about Masonry, but also the will to be at the forefront of political issues, issues in court, just overall well-being for people of color. And again, and since that time, and here we are 246 years, that is what we still here to do. Our guest left us. I see her. She's coming in, cutting in. If you can, Stacy, try to click back on that link, and we will get you back in. With that being said, listen, man, we're going to keep it moving, and we're going to switch up the show just a little bit until our guest is able to come back in. And thank everybody who's tuning in. Again, we just finished talking about the blunder that Whoopi Goldberg had, and how, again, I had her all wrong. Matter of fact, I think in this situation, Boosie was a little bit more intelligent in his reason than Whoopi. So I don't even want to say Whoopi had a Boosie moment. Whoopi literally just went the whole ignorant route. With that being, we're gonna
Whoopi had
jump
a
in the What's up, Diamond?
Whoopi had a Whoopi moment.
Okay, right. Whoopi had a Whoopi moment. So this is what we're gonna do. We were gonna talk about uh Mayweather, but we're gonna save that for last until we can get Stacy back in. I'm gonna turn it over to Diamond, and let's jump into this whole Ti and Tiny situation.
Man, listen here. This whole T.I. and Tiny situation. It's a lot. First of all, you have to think about the story comes out is there's this lady named Sabrina, and basically she's been going back and forth with Ti and Tiny for a while, but she's actually brought out allegations that Ti and Tiny are involved in sex trafficking of women and minors. She has talked about how they drug women, how they're abusive. She even mentioned that Tiny is worse than Ti, and that Tiny seems to be the ringleader. She also said that before you can go be with them, they basically have a swingers lifestyle, say you will. So she's saying when you go to be with them or whatever, they make you do drugs, they make you do mollies, do cocaine. She's seen them do that. She's had other women since she started coming out with this. She's had like 15 other women that are chiming in and agreeing and saying that they were involved in it. In the situation, I know on this week I did see where Ti spoke out and was like, "Hey, we've been dealing with this woman having issues and allegations against us for years because she's mad that this didn't go that way or whatever." And he did admit that they are swingers, but the women that they're involved with have, they give them permission. They
Mhm.
everything they're doing is on their own free will. And then I read where one of the ladies that came forth was saying before they let us in their house, we had to take a Molly, and they gave them a soda and the Molly before they went through the house. My issue with that, especially many people that know me, I'm a big advocate for victims of domestic violence. Of course, sexual allegations and relationships come under that umbrella as well. But I also look at it as if they gave you an option and you're at the door, you have the option to turn around and go away. There's nothing that say you have to go partake in this. So you, even in your story, you're saying, "Hey, my option was to go in here and take this Molly, and I did it." And then she goes on to say that Tiny invited other celebrities to come, and they do what they do. And before we left, we were giving $3,000 a piece, and I never went back. So the fact that one, you said you had an option, they had their deals. If you're gonna be involved in this, you got to do A, B, and C. You agreed to do A, B, and C because you took the pill and you went inside. And then not only that, when everything was over, they gave you money. You took the money and you left. And your option was when you left, you decided never to go back. So I just have mixed issues because, of course, we don't know the whole story yet. This is just coming out. We do know that Sabrina Peterson and Tiny have been friends, and that these allegations and stories of them have been going back and forth for some time. So of course Ti's deal is, hey, we've been dealing with her and she's just jealous because we won't do this for her or whatever. And then you have all of these people that are now coming forward. And my question is always is not to condoning anything whatsoever. Not saying Ti and Tiny is right. Not saying these women are wrong, because as a society, we do have a habit of making the offender to be okay, or excusing their behavior, saying it's okay. And a lot of times, the people that were assaulted or become victims, they're the ones that we tend to bash and talk about. Oh well, you shouldn't have did this. I don't know the mindset of these ladies, but what I do know from what's been released so far, because of course everything has not played all the way out and everything hasn't been released is from the stories of the women that I have read that see me making these allegations is at some point you had a choice. And this is only in what I read. At some point you had a choice to turn around and not go inside. Because I'm sorry, if I come to your house, boss hog, and you say, well, the only way you can come in is if you sniff this line of cocaine. Guess what? I'm not coming in. That's not what I'm turning around, and at that point, I know, oh, I don't need to go visit him anymore. This is not my friend. This is not even the relationship that I thought we had. But now I know. But now, if I sniff it and I come in, then I just gave permission and condoned everything that you asked me to do because I did it. So, there's a lot of mixed emotions and a lot of different things going back and forth. Again, there's no official statements all the way out. It's still being under investigation. So I'm definitely going to continue to follow the story. I have watched T.I. and Tiny Family Hustle. I've watched where Cynthia Brown, when she was released in Memphis, I've watched T.I. do a segment with her. I've watched him help her get her platform established. I've also seen him to put together things on sex trafficking, in the city of Atlanta. So of course, this is to me, this is a big thing because it's like if you did this, you're totally wrong. Him and Tiny, if this is what they're doing and you're actually putting guns to people's heads and going breaking in, then everything you're doing is wrong. And yes, you need to be prosecuted. And yes, something needs to be done to both of you. However, if they really didn't do it and these are just people that's upset because they didn't get enough money or whatever they were after that they didn't get, then also that has to be addressed because one reason there's such an issue with people not believing victims is we've had so many people come out and then you find out they're lying. So it makes it harder on the people that are really in this situation and these things have really happened to them because you got these other people in the forefront just lying. And it kind of just makes everything all mixed up with you. But I definitely will say this, all of this came out this week and we don't have all the proof or evidence, but just from what I've read thus far, haven't read every single article, haven't read every single story. I haven't even read every comment from these alleged 15 women that have come forward. I think I've read Sabrina's story and one other lady. And in the one other lady's story, she was like, before we go in, this is what we had to do. Well, guess what? Why did you not turn around? You agreed to do it. So that's my take on the story.
Stacy, I see that you are muted, but I want your opinion. I want your thoughts on this whole Tiny Toya, T.I. situation. Can you hear me? It looked like you're muted. Unmute your phone.
I can hear you.
You're muted. Okay, there you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So let me know what your thoughts on this T.I. Tiny.
Oh, what I feel about T.I. and Tiny? Oh,
Yeah.
well, what I read from it, at this point, anything is possible. So I don't know. It's just all messed up because this is what I believe. I believe it happened. The ladies should have just went on and came up and just said when it happened. Like I don't understand when people wait years later and then they decide to just try to, it's almost like the Bill Cosby situation. And they waited like all these years later and now they want to, say, okay, well, this happened to me. This happened to me. Well, I feel like if it was when the Me Too movement was like really like active and everybody was talking about, well, Me Too, well, it happened to me, they should have came out then. Like now y'all trying to come out. So it kind of makes me feel like did they pay y'all and they stopped paying y'all? And so now y'all want to say something because they not paying y'all no more. Y'all not getting the benefits. So like I don't understand that because if it happened to me, I'm gonna report it right away. So, but I mean, to each his own. Everybody handles stuff differently. But I don't know. It's a a little fishy to me. And 19 people, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I do. Y'all finish? um, so of course, again, I can't post on social media, so all I can do now I can read, and because I get stories all the time. So I've seen a couple other stories. One of their friends came to their defense on Twitter, and a lot of people are like, "Well, damn, you really didn't help them. You kind of hurt them." But then again, here we go with the ignorance. People do not listen. I don't want to pronounce this woman's name. It's such a damn ghetto ass name. But anyway, she's close friends with them, and she basically comes out and saying, "Well, wait a minute. This chick in a nutshell, again, I'm just paraphrasing it. All she's saying is, this chick in a nutshell is basically mad. She wants Tiny. You didn't tell them that you slept with them. You're not telling them, what's really going on." And basically what she's saying is, no, she wants Tiny. So then I see that. I have a story that I didn't get to share with you guys because, again, when I initially shared this with you guys, that was the only thing came out. And at the time, T.I. hadn't said anything. Tiny hadn't said anything. But then now all of a sudden they start coming out. So Tiny came to her husband's defense. And basically this is what she says. She says, hold up. So you want your abuser to train your sons? He was just uncle 2 years ago. Now when did you say my husband assaulted you? Did you change your mind or change it back? Tiny wrote. What's up with you today, Pooh? I'm confused. Stop harassing my family, you strange. Everybody know you've been special. Then in parentheses says, face slicing seminar lady. Please get up, but leave us alone. So this is what Tiny is saying, like, hold up, wait a minute. Again, if my husband did all this, he would put a gun to you, and he's been doing all of this. Why you want him to train your children, your boys? Why is he uncle? Listen, anytime I see something like this, and you mention the Me Too situation, and again, here on this show, I got to always plug, we are savage, unapologetic, and unfiltered. So with that being said, let me say what the fuck I'm going to say. I've coined that. Let me talk my shit. Anytime when it first hit, I already knew in my mind, I thought basic, broad drama. It's also to come out that a lot of these accusers are fake. I just don't have time to keep going between my phone story to story where they are now exposing these women who are so-called in this Patterson young ladies inbox telling their stories. You get what I'm saying? But when I see it, I was like, this is basic ghetto drama. I've been critical of T.I. and Tiny over the past years. I have. I've always said that what they represent is everything dysfunctional in a black relationship. And what made me say that years ago, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, was the fact that I think when they first came out with the show, if y'all guys can remember, he had got arrested. He took a charge for his wife because remember they were both in the car together, I think in California, whatever, and they had substance on them, marijuana, whatever. He ended up taking that charge. He ended up going to jail. And nothing ever happened to her. And it was then I said, I don't know what man in his right mind will put his wife in a position to go to jail. You can't be a man that you're willing to put your wife in a position to get locked up with you. So I just haven't been the coolest when it comes to them. In other words, I don't glamorize their dysfunctional relationship. I don't glamorize it. Basic ass females glamorize it because that's what made me see. I started seeing on social media, ooh, I wish my relationship was like theirs, and ooh, T.I. this. But here's the reality. Most of the niggas you fuck with that'll get locked up back and forth don't have the money T.I. got. Which changes the whole situation right there.
Right.
A lot of you
Yeah.
bros are not tiny, which changes the whole relationship, this whole situation.
Right.
Because you typically, and let's keep it 100. See, when your dude get locked up and he doing 5 or 6, you go have sex with another nigga on that side. We keep it 100 on this show. You ain't keeping that thing straight. Now, T.I. has never done 5 years. Am I lying or am I lying? If you're watching this show at any point in time, you're more than welcome to contact me personally in my inbox, the Petty Crew, or you can find me at Stephen Hayes, in parentheses, Boss Hogg, and tell me I'm lying. You're not holding it down for him like that. You're just not going to do it. So I have my criticism of them. I do not want us as African Americans to strive and think that what they have going on is normal. Because the truth is, when a black man goes to jail and he's locked up and he has children and a wife, those children and that mother misses a father in that home. Y'all follow what I'm saying? There's nothing functional and normal about that, being absent from your kids. There's nothing normal. I say all that to say, however, because I believe in being down the middle of the road. I believe in being fair too. I see his work that he does, and he's come a long way in his being an advocate for people of color and injustices. And I admire him for that.
Yeah.
I don't run behind every brow saying, this is what was done to me, and this is what did it for me when this brow said, y'all, because y'all read it. She says, but I never called the police. I never reported it. That was it right there for me. When I read that he did all of this, but I just didn't, I chose not to. Well, see, here's how that shit work in court. See, you can give as many accusations as you want to. His attorney, we're going to say if it ever went to court, his attorney going to say, did you call the police?
Right.
No. So you don't have it recorded.
Exactly.
No. So why should we believe you because you're a woman? So we're supposed to believe you just because you said that it happened. The problem with the Me Too movement is that, and I know y'all follow this shit, is that a lot of men lost their jobs. How many of them end up going before a court of law behind accusations? I just want y'all to think about that. If you're watching, you can comment. When this Me Too shit was moving and all of a sudden all these women started coming out of different accusations of being ball players and announcers, how many of them end up going to jail? I want y'all to think about that. How many literally went from accusation to finding out that those accusations were true, ended up in a court of law and were found guilty? You're not going to find one. But immediately, these men start losing their jobs. I can think of some off the bat. Donovan McNabb, you haven't seen him on TV since, have you? And apparently, this whoever she was, I think she worked there, waited again all this time and said, well, he did XYZ, no proof of it, but he lost his income. So that's why I'm not so quick to jump on accusations without any type of proof. Now, if you've been proven that it's done, your ass should be locked up. It is what it is.
Right.
It is what it is. And before we move on, because I'm going to turn over y'all might want to add something to it, but this shit made me feel some type of way. As a man, I've been accused. Listen, a nigga been married before. And the first thing a black woman is going to say, and I ain't going to say all of them, but it's going to happen. The first thing that is going to be said by a black woman is, he assaulted me. I ain't telling you what I know. I'm telling you what the fuck is gonna be said. I've lived it. And guess what? I got a great attorney. Shout out to my attorney who's a beast, a black woman, a black mother herself. Is going to ask, well, do you have proof? Did you call the police? Did you? No. So again, why are we going to believe you? Why should we? Because on the merit that you're a female. And so anytime I see that as somebody who's experienced it, I'm saying, wait, but what I need to see some shit before, because I know I've been in that position. You get what I'm saying? That shit ain't
Right.
cute for somebody to turn around and say, well, you assault women. You know what I'm saying? That's not cute. If you know me, listen, I've been very vocal about this shit. I got homegirls that don't mind putting hands on bitches. I ain't never got to touch now woman. All I had to do is say, hey, I'm dealing with drama. This chick is on one. I need you to slide through. Okay. So I don't never need to do no shit like that. And before I end my little old rant, let's get into this whole sexual part of this situation. Rob Kardashian said years ago that his baby mama, China, he threw it out there about 3 or 4 years ago. He said, and this is when it was messy, they little situation. You sat up here and was in a threesome with Tiny and T.I. This is the first time folks had ever heard of some, them and other women. You know what I'm saying? Outside of their marriage. He was the first to throw it out there that China basically, was paid to be a part of a threesome. I wasn't surprised though. Listen, in Hollywood, in the music industry, hip hop, that didn't surprise me. Black China is a stripper brawl from Miami. If you a nigga who have been in the streets, who done ever played with strippers, you know how it go. They are for sale. It is what it is. So I wasn't surprised. So now to come out that they're having sex and they're doing all of this with women, here's what I want people to keep in mind. First of all, they're married. Let me say that again. They're married. If you are any faith, especially if you're a Christian, the Bible says that in the bedroom, nothing between you two is defiled. Meaning if she says, hey, I'm cool with it, he says, hey, I'm cool with it. If they choose to bring other people into their bedroom as a married couple, they can do that. I have no room to criticize a married couple on how they get down in their bedroom. Didn't say it's my bedroom, but I can't judge the next nigga's bedroom because they're consenting. Y'all follow what I'm saying? They're consenting to it. But now you got T.I. that got to come out and say, this is how we get down. It don't matter how we get down. But since you want to bring it out there, but since you want to do it, let's really call it what it really is. Yeah, this is what we do. But again, let me say it again. They're married. We ain't talking about boyfriend and girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking boyfriend and girlfriend. We ain't talking about let's play around. They're married. Who cares? I don't care how many bras that nigga bring into the bedroom. As Diamond said, if you as a woman knew that drugs was a part of the situation and you still did it anyway, whose fault is it? Is it theirs or yours? You follow what I'm saying? Is it theirs or is it your fault? I really hope that this doesn't turn into an investigation. I really do. Not because I like them, because I really don't. I don't follow them like that. But I believe fair is fair. Y'all get what I'm saying? Who wants to have to pay for lawyers
Yeah.
and attorneys only to fucking find out that all this shit is made up? You know what I'm saying? If you ain't never paid for an attorney, the shit ain't cheap. I don't care what it is. If it's divorce, I don't care if it's criminal, civil.
Right.
It's having to pay for attorneys only to find out that Broad, you really suspect. You know what I'm saying? You suspect.
Right.
All these folks, you suspect. That means that just goes to show that you don't have a problem fucking up nobody's life. You know, like nobody's. Like that's the worst of the worst you can claim on any black man that he's assaulting women. That's like his lowest. I'm a black man and I'm telling y'all, that's the lowest of the low accusation you can never give a black man, that he hit women, that he rapes women, that he's drugging. That's listen, damn, that's low. And I'm with Diamond, man. Unless I see some proof, a nigga gonna have to. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna turn it over to one of y'all. Chicks be think I'm playing. Nick. I have an expensive cell phone for a reason. Cause guess what I'm finna do? I'm recording. I'm recording everything. I'm telling you off the rip. I'm recording everything. Out the gate. What's that? If you want a copy of this recording, I don't mind shooting it to you. But I'm recording everything that we do. I'm keeping it 100. For my throwbacks that's watching, they can co-sign on this shit. I don't talk it, I live it for real. I'm recording everything. If you want to fuck with me, just know it's a third person watching, because I don't never want to be said, well, Boss Hogg made me do this. I was made to do this. This is what happened. Hell no, not me. Not me. It's cheap. Listen, it's expensive paying for an attorney. And guess what? Niggas like me, average niggas, don't get the luxury of waiting until they do an investigation. They go arrest my ass, and I'm gonna have to post bond. And then now I gotta prove myself innocent. Not that I'm innocent until proven guilty. Now I gotta prove that I'm innocent. Hell no. Hey, y'all got something to say about it before we move on? And we're gonna talk to Stacy. Y'all want to chime in on this?
I mean, honestly, I
Yeah, I
agree
want
with
to
you.
say something. Go ahead, Dom.
Nah, go ahead, Stacy. You're the
Go
guest. Go
ahead.
ahead.
What's up, Stacy?
Okay, so just real quickly, I really after what you just said, Steve, like I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of passionate about this, only because like a woman can say something and that can change the man's whole life, and it's unfair, especially if they're lying. And like I agree with you, and I agree with Diamond 100%. Like they need to come up with the proof. I mean, like I have to see the receipts, because anybody can open up their mouth and say anything. But if y'all don't have no proof, especially the part where like the gun that came out and they did that in front of the kids, like no, you should have reported that. You don't have no
Mm-hmm.
proof of that, then right now it's just say it's he said, she said. That's just what it is right now. So that's what I wanted to add.
Right, and
Diamond?
I agree with both of you guys. And at this point, it is that. And I just want to say this: women, and this is to all women. When it comes to situations like this, we need to woman up and be better and take care of our business. Because one thing we do need to stop doing as society is stop accusing people of things that they did not do because you didn't get something you wanted or something didn't go your way. Because we are steady ruining the black male's life over stupid accusations that never even happened. And it makes it worse on the person that these things actually happen to. It makes it harder for them to feel comfortable coming forward. It makes it harder for people to stand there and actually support them. Again, anybody that's in this situation for real and these things have happened to you, I do applaud you and would hope that you feel comfortable enough that you do tell it. Don't wait 20 years. Don't wait 5 years. Don't wait 50 years. You need to tell it when it's going on. And even if you're afraid to tell it, there are organizations you can contact that can slowly help you get to a safe place and slowly help give you that balance and that support you need because you don't have to live in that situation. But if you out here just all willy nilly lying, I'm gonna say, please stop it. And that's
Yeah,
all I have to say.
yeah, most definitely, man. I mean, again, when I seen it, it brings up, as a black man, I have to put myself in that position because I've been, and I ain't been on no rape shit, but I've had it, man. It's gonna happen. A chick can be mad at you, man. I've said this before. Matter of fact, I talked about it on Facebook. All it takes is for one person to say, "Oh, Boss Hogg has done something." I ain't never got to have no proof of the shit. When I went off on a young lady, that's literally what she said. Oh, and you abuse women. But you know where they come from? They come from a basic bitch back in high school, turn around on some silly shit. Not that nobody can ever can't pull out a female, not a one. And if you fuck with me, the last thing I'm trying to do is physically assault you. I'm trying to keep you on your back. If you know me, all the chicks that on my social media page are like, wait a minute, we know him, but it don't. It so I'm telling it from experience. Now it ain't never affected nothing with me because at the end of the day, people are intelligent enough to say, wait a minute, hold on. Especially if you ever dated me, you already know what it is. It ain't. I'll stop fucking with you before we get on some arguing shit. I'll be like, I'm good. I'm not here for all that. But it does not stop people from continuing to keep perpetuating something. Now, T.I. might get past this, but guess what? Somebody's going to always bring that shit up. Y'all see what I'm saying? They going to get past it. It'll be a year later. I guarantee you, a next brawl going to be pissed off, and they going to bring the shit right back up. That's something that kind of stay with you. Now, me, like I said, motherfuckers have dealt with me. And they know me already. I pay a brawl before I get on some shit like that. I got home with all that. So, we got to be careful about that. That's not something you play with. At the end of the day, to these women, if y'all not going to provide receipts, shut the fuck up. You're talking for nothing. On this show, I'm going to speak it. You're talking for nothing. It's not that I'm insensitive, but what I do know is in the court of law, it's proof that finds you guilty, not accusations that find you guilty. With that being said, we're going to go on and jump into our interview with our special guest. She is now back, author Stacy, Breckenridge, and let's just jump right into it. She is an author. She's an entrepreneur. I would call her an influencer because she promotes health and wellness. What would you call it? Health and wellness supplements.
Yes. Health and wellness, yes.
Yeah, supplements. So it's good to have you on the show. Welcome back. Hey, what's up?
Thank you. It's good to be here. I want to say that it was hard for me to get back on because I feel like it's some kind of something that didn't want me to get on because it's crazy how the email completely disappeared. I couldn't find it. Like I kept on searching, it just disappeared. But look, what God has for me is for me. So thank you for having me here. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so listen, let's jump right into it.
Okay.
Tell everybody the name of the book and what inspired you to write the book.
Okay, you was going in now. Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
I was saying, let everybody know the name of your book and why you wrote the book, why you decided to write a book.
Oh yes. Okay, so look, as he already introduced me, I'm Stacy Breckenridge, and this is my book. I actually have it with me. I take it everywhere I go, and it's called "I Win, I Choose Me." To be honest, I was led by God to write this book. If it wasn't me being led by God to write this book would not have existed. I was actually on the airplane to Miami to visit my cousin in November of 2019. And I had just got like an idea, like God was really pushing me to write my story so that I can encourage, so that I can inspire and motivate different women, motivate men, and just let everybody know, no matter what you go through, whatever obstacle, however low you get in earth, if you was betrayed, if you have people betrayed you and you went through a lot of stuff, like it don't matter what you go through, that you can still win at the end. So that's why I decided to name it I Win, because I always felt like in the midst of everything that I've been through, that I was still gonna win at the end, and especially with me being a person that believes in God, that I was gonna always win. But the part at the end that said I choose me, that came in later, because initially the book was only supposed to be called I Win, but I was actually writing. I'm gonna be just be honest, but I was actually writing towards the end about a relationship that I had, and it was going really, really good. And he ended up doing some crazy stuff. Like it was crazy, y'all. So I had to end up making a decision to take him out and take his mama out. And I was like, you know what? I chose me because I'm not
Whoa.
gonna diss
Okay.
myself.
What's up?
I'm
Hold
not
on.
gonna cheat on myself. Okay.
You ain't gonna Steve. Listen, you ain't gonna. We ain't gonna skim over that shit. What happened that you made the end of the rest of the book title? What actually happened? Tell the people, like, this is the Pedigree Radio Show, so they're not gonna let me slide without asking you
Okay.
what happened.
You right. You right. This is what happened. I was dating a guy that I was very much happy with. At this point, I believed that my heart was healed and I was ready to move forward. It got serious really fast. And let me remind, well, y'all don't know, but I'm 37 years old with no kids. I was with my ex-husband for 10 years. So this guy had 3 kids. I accepted all 3 of them. I loved him with all my heart. I accepted his mom, his whole family. Like we was making plans. We even went on a trip in August for my birthday. And August of last year for my birthday. And we end up breaking up in September. He ended up ghosting me. But what ended up really happening is that it's a twist. Um he was pretty much, I had a feeling that he had something going on with his mama's best friend. Like I had a
Damn.
bad, like a strong intuition.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
no, like for real. Like, and I don't know how long they've been friends, but she been in their life for a long time. And he's 36, I want to say, no, maybe 35. And this lady is like 55 years old. And when I tell you, when I met this lady, she was like looking me up and down, like, who are you? Like every time I said something, she had a rebuttal. Like every time I opened up my mouth, it was something. Like I can tell in the look of her eyes that she had something for him. I can tell that she was still in love with him. And I used my intuition and I just knew it. And then when I told somebody about it, they was like, no, it couldn't be. I said, no, she's in love with him and they got something going on. And so that's what ended up happening. I had to leave him alone because he ended up pretty much ghosting me to be with this woman. And his mama didn't know nothing about it.
Whoa. Wait a minute.
Wow.
You're dating this dude. So common sense says while you're dating this dude, he's actually still in a relationship with the mother's friend on the low.
Well, they wasn't together, but they was doing something because like when I was there, like I had took a nap or something. I woke up and like even though I'm asleep, I still can see and hear a lot of stuff. So I seen her walk out the room and then I seen him walk out the room. I was like, what's up with that? And then for one of his kids' birthday, we was slicing the cake or something like that. And I had made like a smart comment about the lady because she had her hair in like a high ponytail, and then it was down. It looked like a damn from Flintstones, and I was just like, this woman a grandma. She looked too old to be running that hairstyle. So I made that comment to his mom. And his mom like laughed it off, but I think she was being messy and told her I said something. So when the lady came in the house, she was crunk. And like she was looking at me all crazy, like she wanted to say something. So the kids was playing around and they was fighting. And so she said, they said you wanna join in, you should hit him or something like that. And she was like, oh, I want to fight somebody, but and like I was just like, whoa, wait a minute, because she kind of looked at me like she wanted to do something with me. And so I'm out of respect, because she's an older lady, out of respect, I was like, you know what, Stacy, chill out, because I'm about to win, because I know this lady talking about me, because we can really get down. But I was just like, nah, man, this is an older lady, like chill, this is a grandma, like chill. So I didn't say nothing, right? I waited to the end of the night and I said something to my boyfriend at that time, and he was like, "Man, nah, man, don't even start with that." Like he was like kind of taking up for her, and I even told him, I said, "You need to have a conversation with her because she's stepping out of bounds." I know he had told me that they had something going on, but he said they never did nothing sexually. But the way this lady was acting, oh, y'all did something.
Right. So,
I know it.
because again, we're talking about her book. What is it?
How when I chose me, that's why I changed the name at the end, because I had him initially in a book.
Man,
I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I had him in a book anyway, but I thought it was gonna be my forever. But it didn't happen that way.
right. So,
So I had to change my ending of the book and everything.
so you said I choose me based off an experience from a previous relationship, basically. Okay.
Pretty much I had to decide that it was me. I had to choose myself over any man or even being mistreated. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna choose me because I'm better than that. Because at the end of the day, I don't disappoint myself. I don't cheat on myself. I trust myself, and I'm not finna get disappointed, and I'm not finna, get mad over this situation. I need to focus on me, choose myself, date myself, love on me. So yeah, I chose me.
Gotcha. And we've had conversations before prior to the show, and
Yes.
like I said, and we're gonna keep going into the book. And for you guys who are watching, I'm gonna tell you this, and it is what it is. You know, if you have to worry about, first of all, it's strange that a mother's friend is always around. That a light would have already went off for me. I'm suspect
She had a key
if
to the house.
oh wow. Oh, hold on. See, I ain't even trying to get into all that.
Well, I think she had like a code to the house, in other words. But go ahead.
Yeah, so because again, I try to put myself in how would I view situations. First of all, I would never be with a woman whose ex is still around. Like I don't care if I don't care if he just cool with your dad or your mama. I'ma want to know why this nigga's still around, and that's gonna be a no for me. I don't know. So that was just strange within itself. Again, like I tell people, if you gotta worry about your significant other, that's not who you need to be with. And I don't mean your husband. I don't mean
Exactly.
your wife. I'm talking about somebody you're dating that you're trying to get to know. And even then, because everything's gonna show itself for you to decide on if you want to marry. If you gotta worry about that, like I don't know how I would act if I'm in your shoes and I have to worry about a nigga. You know what I'm saying? If she wouldn't even be, we wouldn't even be together that long if I gotta wonder and say, damn, you and this dude, your daddy homeboy, have y'all ever been? If I gotta
Yeah.
ask that, you ain't for me. You ain't for me if I gotta even, because we know our gut feeling. We know that. Y'all call it intuition, but the real word for it is called common sense. That gut feeling. We
Yeah.
always talk about God talking to us. No, that's your gut. That is a form of sensing something is not right. You could be wrong. You got to check yourself on them gut feelings and find out what it really is. But man, more power to you for even, being that type of chick to even roll like that. Because I can tell you right now, if that shit was on the other foot, I'm like, bitch, you must think I'm crazy. We good. I'm all right. I appreciate you. I'm keeping it moving. So let's keep it going in the book. What are
Okay.
some of the things this new
So
person?
that's the reason why. Huh?
No, I'm gonna say, what other things do we have to look forward to with the book? Like, what else is in the book for us to look forward to?
Okay, so by the way, that story I just said, of course, is not in the book. I took it out, and love is really blind because I didn't meet the lady until after we was like crazy in love and all this, and I trusted
Mm-hmm.
him, I thought. But anyway, so for the book, what you can look forward to is it's an easy read. I have what, like six, I think 16 chapters. Yeah, I have 16 chapters. So what you can look forward in a book that every chapter you can see how I overcame obstacles in each chapter. In each chapter you can see how it got rough. I mean, I talk about everything. I talk about my illness. And I'm not afraid to say about my illness. I got scars all over my body. So for the people that don't know, I have kidney disease. So
Mm.
I talk about the struggles of kidney disease. And let me tell you something. And see, that's another reason why I feel like God told me to write this book, because it's a lot of people that's in my situation, and I go to dialysis 3 times a week. And baby, when I tell you I don't look like it, nor do I act like it, once I leave the dialysis clinic, I go out and I work out. Okay, I work out, I have energy. I don't let nothing stop me from anything that I do, because at the end of the day I'm still gonna win. I act like and I live like a normal person. Like you wouldn't even know that I'm on a list to get a kidney. And see, that's why I won, because the obstacles, the daily life, the pains, everything that I go with, I don't get on social media and tell everybody, oh, I'm having a rough day today, I've been crapping all day, or I feel sluggish, or I feel this. No, I didn't overcame so much. And that's why I win, because I didn't had God on my side this whole time. And so that's why this book is so important to me, is because I want to encourage people. If you have cancer, if you have diabetes really bad, if you have kidney disease, if you have lung, whatever you have, you can overcome that situation, and you can speak life in your life. You can speak life in your situation, because at the end of the day, when that doctor tells you diagnosed that you're diagnosed with something, it's up to you to decide if you're gonna live through this or if you're gonna die. Because as soon as you start speaking and as soon as you start giving up, then that's it. And so I spoke life in my situation. I've been on a deathbed for I almost died 3 times in my
Ooh.
life at the age of 37.
Wow.
I'm not scared to die. I done made my peace with God. Me and him good. I'm not scared of nothing. And my friend, I have a close friend, and she was just like, Stacy, you not scared of nothing. We in this pandemic, and you already got a condition, and you just go out and you do what you're gonna do. I don't live in fear. So I'm trying to tell people, read this book. I'm gonna encourage you, if you're going through something, you you're gonna be okay.
Right.
If you have God on your side, you're gonna be okay. I deal with and then also in my book I talk about my marriage, of course. I talk about my struggles in school as a young person, and how I struggled in school. Like, honestly, I could be a statistic. Like, seriously, I should have been one of them women, one of them young girls that had a baby at 16 years old. Nothing against them, but I should have been one of that girl, one of the women's that didn't graduate. I could have been
Mm.
one of them women. And then this is the crazy thing about it. Like, they tried to give me a special ed at an early age because they thought something was wrong with my mind. Like, I'm telling you, like, I've overcame so many things. And that's why it's so important to get this book out, because I'm trying to tell this younger girl that you can do it, even if they put you back in the second grade, even if they told you that you couldn't do it, even though that you had to go home every day and cry, even though you used to pee on yourself. It don't matter what you went through. You can do it. You can do it.
Right.
My ex-husband left me. And let me tell you, I'm gonna say this little nitpick that's in the book. My ex-husband left me at the time that I needed him the most. I was still dealing with my kidney disease. My skin got dark. I got insecure for a second because I used to be a bright person. I used to be like diamond color. And I got like 2 or 3 shades dark, and now I'm a brown skin, chocolate little thing. But you know what? I was just like, it's all good, baby. You still beautiful. So it shows that I
Yes,
still
yes.
have confidence. Like, I want to let these women know that you can do it. I want to let these men know you can do it. I was in a household where I used to get eviction notice every month on my door because we couldn't pay our bills on time. We struggled. And it's the day, as soon as my husband left that house, in October 2018, when he left that house, I surrendered and I rededicated my life to Christ. And I told God, I said, enough is enough. I'm not doing this no more. Not no other day I'll be broke. Not no other day I get an eviction notice on my door. And when I tell you God made a way, what two incomes could have did, what two incomes did not do, one income did. And I never have to deal with that ever again, ever since he
Hmm.
left my household.
Say, I
So
gotta
it's
say
just
this.
encouraging.
Say, I gotta say this. And if Diamond want to chime in or whatever, I remember because we are friends on social media, and I remember who you are married to
Yeah,
because I believe
a
he's
great guy.
older. Now I've never
He's
met
what?
him. He's older.
Uh-huh.
Older. No, he's not older because I'm thinking
He's
about his
my
brother.
age. We the same
Yeah, I'm thinking
age.
about his brother. I'm thinking
Mhm.
about his brother. And so,
I know who you thinking about. That's his cousin.
oh, that's
He
his
only have a
cousin. That's not his
sister.
brother.
Yeah, he's a good guy, but if you give the devil an inch, he'll take a mile.
Right, right. Um, I always thought that they were brothers by last name because I played football with the older
Yeah, cause
cousin.
their last name is Slaughter. Yep, they
Right,
cousins
yeah.
though.
Yeah, okay. So I never met your ex-husband. So I don't really know him. Um,
Uh-huh.
but I will say, if you are watching, man, um, I want you to send me a copy of the book. I mean, I want to post it and everything. If you are watching, support this young lady and what she's doing. One thing I will say, and I watched it, on social media, we love to show the snapshots of everything good. When our relationship is going great, we
Right.
out and about, and I'm not stupid. All of us deal and struggle with something. Um, and it's cool to do like this young lady, Stacy, just putting this shit out there. Listen, this is what I done came through. I got cancer. I made it through this. I've had the eviction notice. I've had heartache. Because she might have an answer for you in her book. I tell people all the time, in the middle of this pandemic, if your ass is still here, count yourself as lucky. Be thankful that you are still here in the middle of this pandemic, with everything that's going on. So I do commend you, Stacy, because I don't know your story. And I hate we haven't connected yet, and we better connect so I can get my book to read your story. You know, because again, this could encourage a woman, men, And I would just say, hey, man, like I tell everybody who come on this show, man, keep speaking your truth, keep, shedding light on whatever it is, you know, you want to do. Diamond, would you have anything to chime in on before we keep it moving?
Yes, I definitely do. Your story, just the tidbit that I've heard, is truly amazing. I want to thank you for even just opening yourself up to sharing your story because I believe that it will help someone else. But I have a question for you. What about the inspiring writers or people that want to write a book and get a book published? What information can you provide to help them along the way, like or connection on better steps in writing, or maybe how to find someone to actually publish their book.
Okay, so with that, I want to say, and look, I want to say this. Look, I'm a little rough, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is because I just finished getting certified as a life coach. And look, I'm not finna bullshit nobody. This is my thing. I had a lot of people come to me and say about they want to write a book. And my answer is this: write it. What are you waiting for? We're not finna make no excuses. We're not finna procrastinate. When God told me to write that book and start writing it, I said, God, where do I begin? And guess what? I was on that plane and I wrote my first chapter on that plane. I didn't hesitate. If you feel that you have like a yearning in your heart that you need to get this information out, start writing. That's the first thing you got to do, because this is a thing. I self-published my book. You don't have to go that route. Some people want to have a mediator to help publish their book. But just remember, when you get that mediator, that they gonna own partial of that publishing. And that's why I like to take the middleman out. That's why I self-publish, because you can't say you did nothing, honey. This is all mine, boo-boo. Okay?
Right.
So that's why I did it the way I did it. But my recommendation is, if you want to get some content out, I say go ahead and get started. Because once you have that book, then the rest of it is okay. Let's get a dedication page. If you want to do a dedication page, let's go ahead and write the chapter. See, the way I started my book was I just started writing, and then at the end, that's when I started. God started giving me different chapters to name the different chapters, and then now this is a little special niche that I have in the back of my book. I have tools. So I have Bible scriptures that I use. I have affirmations that I use. I have like a little different little tools that people can go back and look at in the back of my book. So it just depends on what kind, if they want to have that information. But they have to first decide, do they want to self-publish, or do they want to just, get a mediator and publish? They have to decide that. They have to decide, how do I want my cover to look? But at the end of the day, the first step is to get started. You have to get started.
Already.
You
Listen.
have to get started. Oh, and to wrap this up, I want to say this about my ex-husband. He's a great guy. I didn't do this book to talk bad about him at all. God told me to write this book so that I can encourage people and I can motivate people and I can tell people about my story. We all have a story. And I believe that everybody should be able to write their autobiography. So
Gotcha.
I wanted to say that.
Listen, I done had folks to say, hey man, you need to write a book. And I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't even know where to start. My mind be go on some other shit with a ton of things going on. I'm like, I don't think my mind is slowed down for me to be like, let me start writing a book. That's why I went this route. I'd rather just do it live like this and kind of throw, my life and whatever I'm experiencing, through this route. Because the truth is I was like, fuck, my mind haven't slowed down enough for me to write, because it's always going, and I'm like, it would just be all over the place. I would have a page here on some other shit, and, then I'm over here on this, and then I'm trying to get all these pages. No, I just didn't have time. It was just easier to go this route. But again, thank you so much. For anybody who want to reach out to you via your social media page, how can they find you on social media?
Okay, so on Facebook, my name is Stacy, and then my last name I need to change it, but it's I Win with God. That's on my Facebook, and on my Instagram is Stacy_Breckenridge. So y'all can reach out to me on them two social medias. And my other one is T Lit Bodies, but that's dealing with my health and wellness that I have. So
Wait a minute, say that last part again. What is it?
it's called T Lit Bodies. That's in my that's dealing with my health and wellness, because I'm an ambassador of Total Life Changes. So
Gotcha.
they can
Okay.
also reach me there too.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Let's not shortchange that. Anywhere where you can be reach that again. Facebook is Stacy. I'm with God. Correct.
Yeah, I win with God. All
I win
together.
with God. Instagram
Yes.
again. It is Stacy underscore Breckenridge.
Breckenridge.
And then the Facebook page again, pronounce that again.
It's T Lit Bodies.
T lit Lit.
LIT Bodies.
Okay, T. Okay, I just wanted to
Cause
make
baby,
sure I got
yeah,
that.
cause my body lit. You know what I'm saying? I'm hot.
Listen, I seen your video. You with God, all right, but you still got that up in
Yes.
you. We're gonna have to talk about that offline.
But look, like I said, look. I said I'm sanctified, I'm satisfied, and I'm sexy
Yeah, I feel you.
and
Okay.
single.
Yes, I seen that. I was like, you a fool. You are a fool.
Hey,
So listen,
God is
man, before
still working on me.
I already listen, and that's all of us, cause Lord, who look, I know I'm a work in progress. That's a whole different story. Um, but before we close the show, man, we're gonna wrap up this show talking about Mayweather, and it's not too often, and really, yeah, I really haven't really talked about Mayweather. Um, However, he made news that was worth talking about this time around. And this article is from Atlanta Black Star, and it says, "This is what they hate. Floyd Mayweather suggests racism is why many hate his trash talking persona, whereas white MMA fighter Conor McGregor is praised." I'm gonna go into what he says, and then we're gonna just go from there. Basically, what Floyd says is, and he did it on the Instagram post. Um, it says Mayweather has been loved and criticized for his lavish lifestyle, flaunting of money, and untouchable demeanor, both in and out the ring. It is the very persona that he claims his white counterparts benefit from without the hate. He says, con artist McLoser can steal everything from me and be loved, but I'm hated. That just lets you all know that racism still exists. Just know that Bum would never be me or be on my level, wrote Mayweather on an IG post. He goes on to say, I'm just built different. My mindset is on another planet. My skills are second to none. I'm a natural born winner, and yes, I talk a lot of trash. But every time I back it up, he continued, this is what they hate. It's sad that you can be a poor black kid. Um, Damn, I clicked on something. I could be a poor black kid uh, from the ghetto that has dealt with racism your whole life and work extremely hard to put yourself and your family in a better position. And most of the hate comes from my own. And then it just goes into who he is. And what I simply want to know is, does he have a valid point? What you guys think about Mayweather's assessment of how he's viewed versus, again, in this case, MMA fighter Conor McGregor. For you guys who don't know, Conor McGregor he is a MMA fighter who fights in that league. He became real well known because him and Mayweather had like a exhibition fight where he brought in more money than he would have ever brought in MMA. He's a very big trash talker. For you guys who just watched, he just lost his last fight. And so here now we have Mayweather who is now saying, well, hey, the racism come in that is because he can do all the trash talking and he doesn't bag up none of it. I do me and I'm criticized for the way I walk. So what do you guys think? It's open. Diamond, you can go first and then we go pass it to Stacy.
Okay, I definitely agree with Meriwether, but a simple fact. First of all, let's be real. We've been talking about racism a lot lately anyway, knowing that those things still exist. And there are two standards in America. There's a black America and there's a white America. And they're always going to be until we get to the change. Hopefully, we'll see that in my lifetime. But until we actually get there, because we're not there yet, there is white America, there's black America, and they're both viewed totally different. You can have the exact same dollar amount. You can be the black person can even be per se the better person as far as character and everything. And that white person is still gonna get away with more for the color of their skin. We're not being as we would like to be, we're not being judged by our character, our content. It's simply point blank and simple. We are still being judged on the color of our skin. So everything that Floyd is saying is very true. You know, like he says, yeah, I talk, I bump gum. That's what boxers do. That's what fighters do. That's part of their whole facade of talking noise. But hey, guess what? I'm producing. I'm talking noise. I'm still winning. I'm still bringing home this money. Not only that, like you said, when they had the exposition fight, guess who was the real money person? The name in that whole fight was Floyd Mayweather, and that's why the purses were so huge. But again, you have the name, you have the dollars, but you have the wrong color of skin. And because of that, you're still viewed a different way. Everything you do is looked in a different persona. So you're gonna be viewed differently. And it's just simple. That's where we are right now in America. That's where we've always been. We're talking about it way more. You know, for a minute it kind of laid dormant, so it was like, oh, you know, we're better. But now what we've seen in 2020, if you haven't seen anything else, Black America should have been woken up and realized we are still living in the days of our ancestors that we thought we had gotten away from. Slavery is now in a different form. It's still here. No, I'm not chained. No, I'm not out here picking cotton. But it's still here in a different form because you're still judging me by the color of my skin. So I think his point was very valid.
Stacy, what you think?
I couldn't agree 100%. No more with Diamond. I believe that we live in a society that apparently that people are so petty and childish that they actually look at the skin tone and it makes a difference. Because I can see what he's saying because I seen how he talks in the ring and he talked just like him. Like they both be talking noise. They both act very similar, and like they make a big deal on Mayweather, but they don't make a big deal on him. And like I'm just like, what? Like it's the same thing. So I understand where she coming from with like, okay, because the last corporate job that I have, which I ain't worked for corporate probably like 6 or 7 years, like I end up getting fired because I end up finding out that I had more experience than a lot of the other managers because I was the black lady assistant manager. I was getting paid less than all of them. I found out how much I got paid and they fired me. And wait a minute, they
Wow.
fired me right before, and that was when I was dealing with my kidney issue. They fired me right before I was gonna go on FMLA. And they did that. Do you hear me? Like they did that. But yeah, it be about the skin tone. Like for real. Hey, I
So,
agree with you.
and I can understand where you coming from, Stacy. Years ago, man, in my early 20s, I used to work for a company called Watkins Motor Lines. Um, I think now they probably consolidated. I know where I used to work at the location. It's now has been turned into like a FedEx hub. But the name of the company was called Watkins Motor Lines. I started out working on the dock as a dock worker. From the dock, I moved up to the office. I was one of their clerks. So I did that little paperwork as far as um, the drivers and the trailers and everything. So I was handling all of that. It was me and a Mexican guy. And so we worked 12-hour shifts. So because I was in school, I would go to school in the morning time and I was finished class by 12 because my shift was from 12 in the afternoon to 12 a.m. And then he would come 12 a.m. to 12. So we worked 12-hour shifts, just the two of us. And this was this Mexican guy. to eventually he end up leaving. Then comes this white guy into the office. Now, again, I'm only really going to see him in passing because he's there from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. So I come. That's basically how we're going to see each other. Well, one day out the blue, we just happened to be talking, in between him leaving and getting ready to leave for the day. And we have to be talking, and he happened to ask me something about benefits and everything. And I was like, well, no, I don't have these benefits yet. And so, I'm thinking just like anything else where you move from one position to the next, certain benefits will come with that, be it health and all of that. I'm not knowing. But after he got to telling me, well, yeah, I got this benefit and my insurance had already kicked in and woo, 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 woo. And I'm like,
wow.
Wait, hold on. I never said nothing to him. I'm just soaking it in. And I'm like, okay. So I said, well, damn, my insurance haven't even kicked in yet. But I've been here longer than him.
Okay.
He was a white boy. And again, y'all know me. Y'all don't follow me on social media. If I got something to say, damn it, I'm going to say it. I go to the HR. I say, well, hey, I have a court order. Now, at this time, my son was probably just born. He had to be no more than maybe 6 or 7 months, something like that. He was my oldest son, who's now 19, was like probably about 5 to 6 months. At this time, again, baby mama shit, got a court order. And if you know anything about court orders, one thing that they're going to order is insurance that you have to cover your child. So now I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Damn, I got a court order because by law, if you have a court order, instantaneously your job has to give you insurance because it's ordered. Regardless of a probational period, a court order changes all of that. So I said, well, hey, I've been here longer than this guy. How is it that this guy has insurance, all his health insurance and all that have kicked in, and mine haven't kicked in yet? Now, unlike you, I did not get fired. It wasn't that shit. But now I'm upset because y'all try to put me on a probationary period when I came into the office, whereas this dude literally came into the job, benefits off the back. I said, I have a court order. This court order says that I need to carry my child. I mean, y'all need to go on and kick this shit into full gear. Well, here's what I found out. The white guy was actually the neighbor of our actual terminal manager. It was the terminal manager who was a white guy who got his friend hired in to work in the office as the clerk for the paperwork. You get what I'm saying? To do the paperwork for the drivers. So again, he comes in, he gets the benefits off the rip. Whereas black me, Poe Black Steven, Boss Hogg, I have a probationary period that I was supposed to wait. Regardless of how long I've been here, me moving into the office, it didn't change them doing anything. Now again, how stuff ended up working, and in my case, he ended up getting fired because the terminal manager neighbor was found to be stealing. Watkins Motor Line shipped high-end, very high-end products. TVs, if it was high-end, they dealt with it. So, I didn't get fired, but I was definitely vocal. And again, it goes back to what Donna's saying and what we deal with in two different worlds of the racism, the biases that we face as people of color. And again, we're talking about Mayweather for you guys who are tuning in, or if you're coming in later, and how what he did was compared who he was and how Conor McGregor is treated, where there's just total opposites. But we've seen this before with all black athletes who walk around proud. I can name a couple of them. What's my boy that he's the quarterback for the Patriots? Um, Lucille love him.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. There we go.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. You know, when he plays, when he's on top of his game, when he's scoring touchdowns, you know, he's very boisterous. And he was shunned because white America, like we see it, because those are the ones that go to the game. He needs to humble himself. He's too flamboyant. He's going to get the criticism, whereas Aaron Rodgers, who's the quarterback for Green Bay, remember, and again, you guys might not be sports people, but for you guys who watch sports, Aaron Rodgers, when he would score a touchdown, he used to do the whole wrestling belt thing where he's like, I'm the champion. Never was he criticized for himself being boisterous. I do look at Mayweather with a little criticism because the only reason why you spoke up is because this is your field, it's sports. You rarely see Mayweather talk about issues of race and injustice in general.
Right.
And so it was funny that now you will mention racism being at the root of how you're viewed. And now you would admit that you experienced racism, but no other time are you talking about the racism that regular people face in life. You follow what I'm saying? You know, this dude is going to die a multimillionaire. Children will be millionaires. Their children will be millionaires if he's made so much money. You get what I'm saying? You know, they're not going to ever run out of money. He will be one of the few black people who's actually wealthy. But he's been absent when it comes to the issues of race. And so, whereas I do understand and agree with him, I would say to this brother, let's not just be vocal when it comes to you. Because it does come off as self-centered. You get what I'm saying? The only reason why you bring up racism is because it has everything to do with you. Where are you at on Breonna Taylor? Where are you at on George Floyd? Where were you at on Tamir Rice? Where were you at on, the list is long. Where are you at on voting and disenfranchisement in Georgia? You know, you just limit yourself to you as an athlete. And as you see it now, the racism is on me. You know, am I offending this brother? Of course. He's a black brother doing positive things. We can't force everybody to be vocal. We really can't. You know, I can't. If that's not the lane, that's not it. T.I. has gone on to criticize him. That's why I love T.I. T.I. criticized his ass so much that he came out with a whole song on his ass. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I love T.I. from the activist standpoint. And so I would just say to Mayweather, as we close the show out, is let's not be self-serving on the issue of racism. As an African American man, again, I understand that you being an African American man, I understand that you still face racism with all the money you have. But let's not just bring up racism when it has everything to do with you. With that being said, man, I want to thank everybody who's tuned into today's show. I want to thank again our special guest, author Stacy Breckenridge. I'm definitely going to hit you up after this show because you got conflicting issues that we need to talk about. Diamond, thank you so much as usual for hanging out with your boy. You know I love you. Here to the moon and back for rocking with your boy all the way in San Antonio, Texas. So before we get up out of here, I just want everybody to give their parting words. Diamond, you got the flow.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm enjoying it as always. Know that you can find me on Facebook and Instagram with YOLO Expressions for any of your t-shirts, buttons, custom mugs. Pretty much you want it customized, I can do it at YOLO Expressions. Or you can find me on my personal platform, Yolanda Diamond Jones. And as always, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Already. Stacy Breckenridge, holla at us.
All right. It's your girl Stacy B, T Lit Bodies. If you trying to detox, if you trying to lose weight, if you trying to have some goals that you trying to reach, hit your girl up. Okay, she got it. Okay. Not only that, but you can hit me up because I win, I choose me will become a bestseller one day. Okay. So make sure you get your copies. It is available right now on Amazon. Now, if you live in the Dallas or Fort Worth area and you can hit me up because I always have them on deck. You heard?
Yeah, look at you. I see you. I see you. I love it, man.
Oh,
I love it.
baby. I'm all live.
Yeah, man. Listen, anytime again I can support and help get the word out, like I always say, I definitely would do it again. That's one of the staples of the People Crew radio show. Yeah, we are petty. I am Mr. Petty. However, I do believe in uplifting our people in one way or other, regardless of whatever platform you might have, whatever business you're in. If I could be the first to break it and talk about it, we definitely going to talk about it on this show. With this being said, everybody can find us on the Petty Crew Facebook, Instagram, the Petty Crew, Twitter at the Petty Crew One. I am on YouTube, the Petty Crew. I'm trying to get my YouTube up, man. Listen, I'm at 50 subscribers. I'm trying to have as many subscribers as I do on Facebook. Help me get to 5,000, damn it. I might just need to focus on pushing everybody there to YouTube. One day, I'm going to upload all these shows to YouTube. I am going to do it. One day, I am going to put this audio back on our streaming platforms, but you got to forgive me when you are a one-man business and you have a life outside of this. Again, just I hope you understand. You can always go back to Facebook to watch it again if you missed anything. At some point, I'm just going to upload all this shit to all the platforms, and you can catch it that way. Thank you so much to everybody who chimed in. My frat brother, I see you, Miss Turner. I see my cousin who chimed in, and whoever else who was watching. Thank you so much. We hope you have a great day, and until next Sunday, we are out. Thank you.